Hi viewers, I'm Veena L Iyer back to you all with some new concept in grammar, one of the easiest topic in grammar, that is punctuation marks. So here we are with numerous punctuation marks that we often use in writing when we write English. And while pronouncing or reading out English, also we have to give it a note that we should see which punctuation mark is put, and as per that we have to start all expressing all our sentences in such a way whether it is in like interrogation or whether it is surprise. So by the punctuation we come to know how should where should we keep the pause, where should we start, where should we end, where should we ask in the form of question and all such things. So punctuation is very important lesson, and at the same time one of the easiest lesson with some things that we should know when we learn or speak or write English. So let's begin with punctuation marks. Now look at these words. What are you looking for, Sonali? What are you looking for, Sonali? So how to read this? There are different ways to read these words. So what do you think? Do they mean like this? Like, what are you looking for, Sonali? What? Are you looking for Sonali? See, the way I am saying the sentence, it's as per the punctuation mark. Now the last one. What are you looking for? Sonali? See, everywhere the meaning is different. The way I read, it will say what I mean to ask the person next to me. So marks of punctuation lend clarity to our writing. Without them, we might even misunderstand the meaning what the writer has written. So always make note when you are writing something, if there is a requirement of punctuation mark, whether it is capital letter, full stop or anything, put it at the right place, or else the person reading it will not understand the actual meaning of what you are writing. Now, the very first punctuation mark that I've put up is full stop. The definition is put up, but I'll list up with some main rules. You can go through the definition given above. Full stop is used to close a command or a statement. For example, we gave our camera for repairs. It's a normal statement starting with capital letter ending with full stop. Do not press this button. Just a full stop. It's a command but a normal statement. Giving order like. Full stop is used after abbreviations like Dr. A. K. Monga. That is the full form of A. K. is Ashok Kumar Monga. So whenever we write our names also in future, when you're children you may write your full name, but when we grow up we normally tend to go with initials, and only the last name or first name we used to write in full, rest everything in initials, like in abbreviation format. Suppose MA, that is Master of Arts. People often write MA. They don't write it in full as Master of Arts. They cut short in abbreviation format as M.A. CM, Chief Minister. To indicate a decimal fraction, often we use in max like 72.6, 89.78. This point is nothing but our full stop. Now, comma. Again, a definition is put up. You all can read it. I'll go through the rules. Comma is often used to separate words in series. For example, all the rooms in this house are small, dark, and dingy. Variety of features for a particular thing. When we write all those varieties, we put a comma after one and then other after comma. Then I'll write the third after comma, like so on. Used to separate phrases in series. Gandhiji was respected by all kinds of people, rich and poor, young and old, high and low. So see here, rich and poor is one concept, after that a comma, young and old, a particular phrase, then comma, high and low. Used to separate clauses in series. For example, I have a friend who was born in the States. First statement, that is the first, then who was educated in England, a clause, so comma after that, and who has traveled all over Europe. So in clauses as well, let it be main or subordinate. After main I'll put a comma. After subordinate, again if I have a sentence, again a comma. Then I'll write the end one. Used to set off a noun of address. Bobby, comma, you didn't tell me you know Japanese. Something is going on with the main noun and the person is saying it. So Bobby, the main noun, put a comma and then speak you. Okay. Used to separate question tag. When you're writing question tag also, before adding a question tag, you put a comma. Like you are going, comma, Aren't you? Question mark. So here Y capital, comma. It's one of the second punctuation mark. Aren't apostrophe is their third punctuation. Question mark is fourth punctuation. We'll learn it one by one. But for now, keep note of only comma. Comma is used to separate expressions that are in oppositions. The meeting was addressed by Dr. D.S. Kotari, comma, the famous scientist. About the person. So, comma, the famous scientist. Used wherever a brief pause is needed to give clarity to writing. To earn some extra money. What she did? She started taking tuitions. So, comma, she started taking tuitions. Of course, when you're using such words like to, in fact, nevertheless, put a comma and then write the rest of the sentence. The manager said, used in direct and indirect speech, like direct speech or reported speech, we write it in this form. The manager said, comma, inverted commas begin. We need only experienced people. Inverted commas close. Understood? Now, used to separate the parts of a date from one another or any words. The parts of an address in letters after the salutation and after the complimentary clause in letters and mails also we use comma, like dear friend, comma. Then at last also thanking you, yours faithfully, comma. So such things, even when we write address, we put a comma after every line. So make it a point, comma is important when you write a statement in different ways. Question mark. It's easy at the end of the question. If you're asking a question, at the end you have to put question mark. Who is there? Is anybody absent? Question mark. So like this. Exclamation, as I said, for exaggerated statement, or I should say surprising statement, or expressing one's feeling. At the end of this, or while using such words, we have to put exclamation mark. Wow! Put an exclamation mark. How kind of you? Put an exclamation mark. So when we express some sudden or strong emotion in the sentence, at the end or for such marks, put an exclamation mark. Apostrophe, just before I said in question tag, one of the rule was in question tag we use it. Other rules in possessive of any singular noun. Mona's frock. Okay, it's possession. It's whose frock? Mona's frock. So Mona apostrophe S. To form possessive of plural noun. It was singular earlier, now it's plural. Boys. Boys is already plural, but I have to make it in possessive form. So after writing boys, I'll put an apostrophe to make it possessive. To form possessive of plural noun. Children's book. Children is already plural form, but we can't write S. So children apostrophe S we can write. And with help of this apostrophe, we can show them the possession. That it is whose books? Children's books. Okay. To make short forms like he is. If I don't want to write he is in full, I'll write he apostrophe S and I'll read it as he is. So with expression of time, space and money, like kilometers distance, a day's leave, a rupee's worth. So I'll write it in singular first, then apostrophe and S. Okay. Now, quotation marks, like we used in our reported speech, we saw it. I said it in inverted commas. Its another name is inverted commas. To set off the actual words by the speaker, like in reported speech, we use it. For interrupted speech also, even again it's reported but in two different ways. Even there, when someone is speaking, I will put the quotation marks. It is even used to indicate the titles of books, films, plays, songs, stories. Like if I am saying Mahabharat was a popular television serial, I'm just saying about the title of that serial which I'm watching. So inverted commas for the name, for the title of that particular soap. Daily soap, I should say. Hyphen. It is used with compound numbers like 21 to 99 in mathematics. When we write it as 20 hyphen 1, 90 hyphen 9. Used in writing compound words, son hyphen in hyphen law, maid hyphen servant, passer hyphen by. So like this. Used in compound adjective, to hyphen story house, ready hyphen to hyphen wear, ready to wear. It's like ready to wear. So ready hyphen to hyphen wear garments. Next one, dash to introduce explanation in the middle of the sentence. Suppose I have to say something about many people. So everybody, who are they everybody? The spectators, the players, and if any more I can write it with comma. So this here I use dash. Used after a list of items when it is followed by an explanation. Friends, colleagues, relatives, dash, none came to his help. Just opposite of the previous example. Now semicolon used between independent clauses. If two clauses are given, it's both are independent, like both are main clause. In the same statement, I will put a semicolon. Like Preeti is quiet and hardworking, semicolon, Kanika is noisy and active. If expressions like however, nevertheless, hence, etc. between two independent clauses, like you haven't returned the earlier loan, semicolon, nevertheless, comma, I'll not disappoint you. We have already learned while using nevertheless and all. After that, we have to put comma. But before nevertheless, if we have a statement, then we have to put semicolon. Now, colon, to introduce a list. Two separate contrasting statements. Also, now for an example, we should have three qualities. Which are the three qualities? Put a colon and then write courage, strength and sincerity. Separate two contrasting statements. To err is human, one statement, put a colon. To forgive, divine. So err and forgive are two separate words, like opposite words I can say. To err is human, that means human are tend to make errors, but to forgive is only God's duty, not ours. So if we forgive, we are always treated in the form of, like in the place of God, where we have the mind or your heart, a good heart to forgive a person who is doing mistakes and to change him into a good one. Slash we often use in a fraction and measurement or in a text and or like $3.85 per gallon. So that per gallon I put a slash. In brackets we have two brackets, square and circle brackets. Like even circle brackets are called as parenthesis in proper English. It's not curve or circle brackets. In proper English it is called as parenthesis, and square brackets are called as brackets itself. So George Washington, the first American president. So to describe the person here, the first American president, I have used parenthesis, that is curve brackets. According to the travel book, the hotel room cost $10, 10 US dollars. So 10 US dollars, it's already understood the cost, but if additional information is to be given, then we use square brackets. For parenthesis, we need not write, like we did not mean it as additional information. It's just passing on more about the person, the person actually who is this, but the expressing a particular thing in a different way, but not extending the meaning. We use square brackets. Now ellipsis, it's new formation of punctuation marks. Earlier we didn't have it, but we have it before, some years before. Like if I have to say something and I'm stopping it in between and not continuing for some time and then completing it with something, we use ellipsis in between. Like he decided to dot dot dot. I don't know what is spoken between. Then at last the person is saying, then he left. Something was there, he wanted to complete, but he didn't say anything and he completed his statement like, then he left. So he decided to dot dot dot, then he left. Capital letters, it's used with proper nouns. It's the first word of every sentence is capitalized. First word of every direct quotation is also capitalized, and many more. It's the each line of poem, official names, every sentence. So everywhere we use capital letters. So all these were the lists of punctuation marks from the topic punctuation. I guess you all have understood it. Please review the video once again if you want to understand each of the concepts in deep, nicely with all the examples and definitions. So if you've liked my video, please don't forget to say share, subscribe and comment the channel Learn with Veena Iyer. Thank you once again to all my viewers.